Okay, lesson 24, module 4, homework, question number 3. Community bike ride offers a short ride for children and families, which is 5.7 miles, followed by a long ride for adults, which is 5 2/3 times as long. If a woman bikes the short ride with her children and then the long ride with her friends, how many miles does she ride all together? All right, so she does the short ride, which is 5.7. That's the short ride. But then she's going to do the long ride with her friends as well, which is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 2/3 the size or the length of the first short ride. So I'm just going to get a visual here very quickly. And there's a couple of different ways I could solve this. Okay, I can take 5 2/3 times 5.7 and get the long ride. Okay, I could take 5.71, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and then divide 5.7 by 3 to get what goes in each of these thirds at the end. So there's a couple of different ways that I can look at this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5 7/10 times 5 2/3. That is going to give me the long ride. 5.7, 5 2/3 times. What I'm going to do is turn that decimal into a fraction, which is 5 7/10 times 5 2/3. Let's turn both of those. It gets a little easier to turn them both into improper fractions. 10 times 5 is 50. 50 plus 17. I'm sorry. 50 plus 7 is 57/10. 3 times 5 is 15. Plus 2 is 17/3. So we have 57/10, which was 5 7/10, times 17/3, which was your 5 2/3. I'm going to look to cross simplify, and I could see that 3 goes in evenly to 57. So 3 is a factor of both 57 and 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And 57 divided by 3 is 19. Now, if you couldn't do that, you could still multiply 57 times 17 and 10 times 3 and simplify at the end. But sometimes it's easier to simplify ahead of time. Now, I'm going to do 19 times 17. Got to do that on the side. Can't do that in my head. 63. 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 6 is 13. 0 placeholder. 9. 1. Add is 323. 323 divided by 10 times 1 is 10. And I know from earlier in the year that dividing by 10, I could simply move the decimal to make it 10 times smaller. So that long ride is 32.3 miles. what I would do is take that and add it to the short ride, which was 5.7. So 32.3, that's the long ride. Plus, she is doing the short ride with her children, is a total of 38.0 miles. The woman rides 38 miles total. Okay, Sal bought a house for $78,524.60. 12 years later, he sold the house for 2 3/4 times as much. What was the sale price of the house? Okay, so here's the house and what it was bought at. Just getting a picture of how this is going to work. Original. Sale. 12 years later. That would be 1, 2. That would be 3 times as much as the original sale. But we're only selling it for 2 3/4. So it's going to be that, and then that again. And then 3/4 of $78,524.60. Now, how would I do that in a shorter way? I'm going to look at $78,524.60, and I'm going to multiply it. And I think the easier way to multiply this would be to change it to a decimal. That is an easy decimal to work on. 3/4 is 3/4, which is equivalent to 75/100. So we have 2.75 to multiply by. Now I'm going to forget the decimals for now, but I'm going to remember that I have hundredths times hundredths. So I should end up with not hundredths, but I should end up with 2 decimal places and 2 decimal places. I should end up with 4 decimal places, which would be 10,000ths place. Okay, let's multiply. 5 times 0, 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 3 is 23. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 1 is 26. 5 times 8 is 40, 42. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 4 is 39. Done. Get rid of these. When you have multiple numbers to multiply by, multiple digits, you might want to get rid of some of the extra clutter. I have a 0 placeholder because now I'm multiplying by the next place. And I'm going to do 7 times 0. And 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 4 is 32. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 1 is 36. 7 times 8 is 56, plus 3 is 59. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 5 is 54. You can see that knowing your facts can speed you along. Not knowing your facts is going to slow you down. I'm last. I'm going to multiply, but I have to put 2 placeholders because now I'm in that third digit. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 with 1. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 8 is 16 plus 1 is 17. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1 is 15. Now I can add them all up, and my final answer, remember, should be in the 10,000s place. 0, 0, 5, 6, 16, 22, carry the 2. 10 and 4 is 14. 10 and 9 is 19. 4 and 4 is 8 plus 7 is 15. 5 and 5 and 1 is 11. And the 2 at the end. Now here, remember, hundredths times hundredths gives me an answer that should be in the 10,000s place. So we should have 215,942.65. We don't need those extra zeros because they're no thousandths and no 10,000ths. That's the same thing as my phantom or not putting it at all. Dollar sign, comma, every third place, ones, tens, hundreds, comma, 1,000s, 10,000s, 100,000s, $215,942.65. Final answer.